My name is Ruby, and I'm 17 years old. After 9/11, they brought in dogs that were trained to sniff out people in the wreckage. The dogs were supposed to find living victims, but they only found bodies because nobody had survived. The dogs were so distraught that they became depressed, and the trainers had to get people to hide in the rubble as fake victims so the dogs could feel successful, so they had a reason to keep trying. I was like one of those dogs. I searched through the wreckage of my traumatic brain injury, but I couldn't find anything that had survived. I was devoid of purpose. I was no longer able to do all the things that made up the core of my identity. I went from a high-achieving student to barely holding on to C's because of my lack of concentration. My sensitivity to sound cut me off from my passion of making music. I couldn't participate in athletics, taking away not only an outlet of stress, but also the important feeling of belonging I felt while being part of a team. I was too easily overwhelmed to be with my friends, starving my extroverted personality of the energy it needed. Academically, athletically, socially, and emotionally, I was empty. Without all of these things, who was I? I saw multiple doctors and got MRIs and other tests, but there really isn't any treatment for traumatic brain injuries, just lots of rest and lots of time. It was all just a waiting game. After 3 months of waiting and fighting to heal, I reached a breaking point. Outside, I appeared okay, usually forcing a smile, but on the inside, I could hear the hopelessness echoing in my hollow form. Looking back, I think it was a mixture of neurological and psychological reasons that I became suicidal. Maybe that's too bold to say a yucky word out loud like that, but it is my truth. I couldn't find anything in the rubble. I got scared when I felt like I was out of control, so I reached out for help, and I was hospitalized for 24 days. I guess I am supposed to think of that hospitalization as a dark, secret part of my life or be ashamed of it, but I'm not. It was a dark, terrible time for me, sure, but I went there so I could get better, and I did. That's where I started to find things in the wreckage. Under the pile, I found the round-the-clock support I needed. I found my supportive and loving family in there. I found helpful medications, a passion for drawing and visual arts. I found hope. I even started to find me again. Now, after a 2.5-year recovery, I can confidently say that I have recovered from my injury. The only thing in the universe that is more complicated than the universe itself is the human brain. Traumatic brain injuries and other neurological disorders can take someone's entire life as they knew it away from them, swiftly and painfully. But with so much research yet to be done, we may not be as far from cures and treatments as we may think. Despite having such a tumultuous journey, I am lucky to have made it back to health. TBR survivors shouldn't have to rely on luck to recover. Hope should be available to all survivors in the form of effective diagnosis and treatment. I can't think of anything I would want more than to be able to prevent other people from enduring what I went through. Keep the hope going and support neurological research. Go hide in someone's rubble. Finding you might just help them find themselves.